Now, WFXR News Weather First, Virginia's most accurate forecast.
Good evening, I'm Tab O'Neill. Thanks for joining us. From donuts to drinks to breakfast cereals, everybody's getting into a fall feel this week. Well, the weather's going to cooperate and get into a fall feel as well, with temperatures well below normal. 69 degrees right now, winds north at 6. The barometric pressure is on the rise, while humidity's at 90%, the dew point at 66. We'll get into a very fall feeling forecast in just a couple of minutes.
Now, WFXR News First at 10.
Tonight on First at 10, the Krug County Sheriff's Office continuing to search for a suspect they've been trying to track down for days now. We'll have the latest from deputies. Plus, the World Health Organization is looking for a new name for monkeypox, as the health experts believe cases could be spreading into new groups. And later, it's all colors, culture, and dancing. We'll take a look inside this weekend's Festival of India in downtown Roanoke's Elmwood Park. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. First at 10, I'm Amanda Lee. We begin tonight in Krug County, where deputies continue an extensive search for a man they say is wanted on traffic charges by Virginia State Police. They've been looking for at least 2 days now, deploying drones and canines with the help of ESP. They say he was last seen late yesterday in the area of Old Huffman's store on Route 42. This picture is here on your screen. You can see deputies say he was last seen wearing camo pants and a blue fleece type jacket. They say he isn't believed to be armed, but tell residents to be careful. They're asking for the public to report any suspicious activity or people to the sheriff's office. In D.C., one man shot and killed himself after driving into a barricade at the U.S. Capitol. Capitol Police say the man drove into the barricade around 4 this morning and left the car before it went up in flames. He then pulled out a handgun and started firing random shots into the air as he walked toward the Capitol. The Capitol Police chief says when officers approached him, the man shot himself in the head and died at the scene. Chief Tom Manger says police records show the man has criminal history, but nothing linking him to the Capitol. Investigators added the suspect did not appear to be targeting members of Congress who are on recess. The man's name is being withheld until family members are notified.
Capitol police officers were responding as he got just onto the east front of the Capitol property. One of our officers observed him put the gun to his head and shoot himself.
Police have no motive for the incident, adding the man did not appear to be targeting members of Congress, and like I said before, they are on recess. In eastern Pennsylvania, one person is dead and 17 others injured after a vehicle struck a crowd. The crash happened yesterday evening during an event honoring victims of a recent fire. It was in Berwick, Pennsylvania, at a restaurant called Intoxicology Department. Authorities say the suspect then killed a woman in a separate incident. The Pennsylvania State Police identified him as 24-year-old Adrian Reyes. He was arraigned this morning on 2 counts of criminal homicide. The World Health Organization is inviting the public to propose new names for monkeypox. They say they've been criticized over the name monkeypox from people saying it has racist connotations and creates a stigma toward the illness. In a statement released on Friday, the organization said it was creating an open forum to accept suggestions for a new name. Also, the WHO has renamed 2 clades or families of the monkeypox virus to avoid the stigma associated with geographical names. The variant formerly known as Congo Basin will now be referred to as Clade 1 or 1, and the West Africa variant will be known as Clade 2 or 2. The statement also says the new names for the clades should go into effect immediately. And this after health officials say they believe monkeypox could potentially be spreading into new groups. This weekend, the CDC reports more than 11,000 confirmed cases across the country, but experts believe the true number could be even higher. Vaccines are currently prioritized for those in high-risk groups, but the FDA this week approved a new injection method to address a nationwide shortage of doses.
This means that 1/5 of the original dose needs to be used. This will help medical providers stretch out the limited vaccine supply that we have.
The Biden administration has declared monkeypox a public health emergency. They've also moved to ramp up the wastewater testing to stay ahead of the spread. Experts believe the vaccine will be more widely available to the general public sometime next year. President Biden taking a victory lap as House Democrats pass a new spending bill, sending the measure to his desk for a signature. The news comes as the president takes a vacation in South Carolina, which seemed to include his son Hunter Biden, who is currently under federal investigation. Fox News correspondent Jacqui Heinrich is in Kauai Island, South Carolina, where she's following the president.
President Biden plans to sign this bill next week and follow it with a big celebration at the White House with lawmakers on September 6th. But Biden's already using the legislative win to campaign against Republicans.
Every Republican in the Congress voted against the bill. Every single Republican. Against lower prescription drug prices, against lower health care costs, against a fairer tax system, against tackling the climate crisis, lower energy costs, and good-paying jobs. The Democrats sided with the American people, and the Republicans sided with special interests. That's the choice we face.
According to a new Fox poll, the biggest thorn in the president's side is still inflation, with 41% of voters putting it above hot-button issues like abortion, border security, and more. And the White House has been trying to build goodwill among voters, saying the Inflation Reduction Act, as it's called, will bring down the cost of things like prescription drugs through Medicare pricing negotiations. And energy costs will come down because of climate investments, like tax credits for electric cars and solar panels. But experts agree the bill won't directly impact inflation for at least a year or more. And the White House has had trouble answering questions over how exactly they can claim this bill will have an immediate impact people can feel in their wallets. We've not yet seen the president in person since the bill passed. He's also given no comment on the FBI raid on former President Trump's estate. President Biden's with his family here on vacation, including Hunter Biden, who's under federal investigation for his taxes. Hunter Biden flew with President Biden on Air Force One and was spotted on a beach with his wife and son. President Biden again has no public events on his schedule today. In Kiawah Island, South Carolina, Jacqui Heinrich, Fox News.
Roanoke Fire and EMS took to Facebook to warn residents of a texting scam going around. The text prompts you to order a t-shirt, but from Roanoke Fire and EMS, they say it's not that. Cybersecurity expert Ken Nevers says this is a scam to steal money. He advises people not to click the link and says the website does not exist. Nevers says before opening website links from unknown numbers to check the number first, as many scams are sent from unfamiliar area codes.
It is currently affecting EMS and fire departments, police departments across the United States. So it's a widespread scam, and it's tugging on people's heartstrings and wanting to do well and support their, local heroes.
Nevers advises paying close attention to website URLs. If there's something odd or if you don't recognize it, it's likely a scam and you probably should not click any links. The Lynchburg Humane Society has some good news regarding the rescued Envigo beagles they took in last week. Today, the Lynchburg Humane Society says that all 21 beagles that were recently rescued from the Envigo breeding facility have all been adopted into their forever homes. And the 21 dogs are a small portion of the 4,000 beagles from the Cumberland breeding facility in need of homes. Representatives from the shelter say they're absolutely blown away by the response and support from the community. Taking a look now at your forecast, meteorologist Tab O'Neill joins us now. Tab, what's it looking like out there?
Well, we've been talking about precipitation arriving this evening, and it is doing exactly that. Let's go ahead and take a look at our radar and show you what's going on across the region right now. Most of the rain is in southwest Virginia, where around Galax and south of there, some of these storms have been kicking up wind gusts of over 30 miles an hour. There was some pretty good thunderstorm activity in Charleston a while ago. That has diminished somewhat. We're going to continue to find showers and thunderstorms in play for Monday for Lynchburg, also Monday for Danville. Temperatures are going to be about 10 to 12 degrees below normal for this time of year. Look at these highs in the 70s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The same holds true for the New River Valley and the Allegheny Highlands. Showers will be continuing, and the temperatures are going to be on the cool side. As a matter of fact, this entire week is going to feel very much like fall. That's your Pinpoint weather.
All right, Tab, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, the rain held off long enough this morning for Elevation Church in Roanoke to have their final block party celebration after church service. The church kicked off the beginning of the school year and the final days of summer break with a fair-themed block party. Pastor David Shearer says it's important to build rhythm back into life and take a moment as summer ends and school starts again. He says in hard times, it's important to come together and show love and support, especially when times might be tough for many.
I think that's so crucial in the world today, that we see a lot of divisiveness, we see a lot of separation. This is a place that's safe for us to come together and celebrate us together as a community.
During the church's Love Week at the end of last month, they filled over 25,000 backpacks for kids in need of school supplies in the area and packed over 1 million meals for the hungry. Coming up, there's a lot going on this week, but we got you covered. We'll take a look at some of the week's headlines in your week's look ahead. And when it comes to marijuana and driving, a recent study by AAA finds a much smaller number of people think it impairs the ability to operate a vehicle. We'll have more on the study coming up.
I'm David DeGuzman, live in the WFXR newsroom. Coming up later in sports, we're going to take you to Richmond Raceway for the first of the final 3 races of the NASCAR regular season. We have a report from Victory Lane.
And a number of schools have gone back already. Bedford gets started tomorrow, actually. I think Lynchburg on Tuesday. But for tomorrow, here's what's going to be happening when it comes to the weather. We're going to head out and need to take some wet weather gear with you off to school. 7 o'clock in the morning, 66. Pretty good chance of showers. Greater chance of precipitation at 11 and still in the 60s. Still in the 60s with showers at 3 in the afternoon. We'll have a continuation of wet, cool weather in our forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Well, there's a lot going on this week, but we got you covered. Kathlynn Stone has a look at some of the week's headlines in your week's look ahead.
A number of school districts head back this week. Others have been back. We have a full back to school page on our website, WFXRTV.com, if you have any questions. Fall move-in for students at Virginia Tech starts on Monday. It'll last through Sunday the 21st. Expect more traffic in the Blacksburg area. Straight Street is hosting an event on Tuesday to help people learn from experts about how to spot, report, and stop human trafficking. That free community event starts at 7. It's happening on Luck Avenue Southwest. There's a ceremony taking place on Wednesday to discuss broadband expansion in Bedford County. It's set for 10 a.m. at Jordantown Market, which is a longtime store in the Stewartsville community. According to a release, residents and businesses near that area will have the opportunity to be connected to broadband once a new project gets underway and is finally complete. Now, Saturday is Matriculation Day at VMI. It also marks the 25th anniversary of women being admitted to that school. Events start at 8 a.m. and wrap up at 2 p.m. On Sunday, First Impressions Barbershop and Salon on Melrose Avenue in Roanoke is offering free haircuts, styles, and school supplies. Doors open at 8 a.m. They close at 5 p.m. That's a look at the week ahead. I'm Kathlynn Stone.
In your health tonight, well, most know of drinking alcohol can make it unsafe to drive a car, but a recent study with AAA finds that a much smaller number of people think marijuana actually impairs your driving. It found 95% of people consider driving over the legal limit for alcohol was extremely dangerous, but only 69 see the same level of danger for driving within an hour of using marijuana. It also found that some people even believe that pot use improved their driving. Pam Fisher with the Governor's Highway Safety Association says this is not true and it's a dangerous way of thinking.
You know, we need the public to understand that it is impairment. And we say this, impairment is impairment is impairment, and it's dangerous when you're impaired and you get behind the wheel.
She says a third of impaired drivers tested in hospitals were under the influence of marijuana. That is up to 21% since 2019. That number is expected to go up even more as pot becomes legal in more states. You'll learn more about the dangers of driving and marijuana use at the Governor's Highway Safety Association's webpage, ghsa.org. Another voice being added to the chorus of people who think working from home is not such a good idea. Culture guru Malcolm Gladwell, the author of The Tipping Point and Outliers, says it's very hard to feel necessary when you're physically disconnected from your workplace. Gladwell says all want to have the feeling of belonging and to feel necessary, something that doesn't always happen when people work from home. Some experts say remote work during the pandemic has led to an increase in anxiety, depression, and eating disorders. Nonetheless, some other people who at Gladwell went against him, saying that he is not believed to be right. Still to come, a homicide investigation is underway in Henrico, where a 22-year-old woman was found shot dead in a car this morning. We'll have more details and more from neighbors.
Now, your most accurate pinpoint weather forecast.
Good evening. We have a mixed bag of precipitation across the region right now. Let's take a look at what the headlines are when it comes to weather for the next 24 to 36 hours. Showers are likely. Some thunderstorms are possible. We're going to end up with a little bit of morning mist and fog, and temperatures are going to be below normal as we make our way looking at the radar. We've got some good precipitation falling around Galax and heading south into North Carolina, where the winds down here have been kicking up over 30 miles an hour with some of those storms. But in our immediate area, we're just seeing some light rain, misty drizzle, not much in the way of thunderstorm activity at all, and that is going to continue to be the story. This precipitation is going to be widely scattered across the region. Our futurecast picking it up here at this hour. We're going to continue overnight tonight with some scattered showers and precipitation for tomorrow afternoon. Not much in the way of thunderstorm activity. A few storms could stray through the region, but it's going to, for the most part, be just pretty much like we have right now, these widely scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. For showers and thunderstorms to continue tomorrow, it's going to feel very fall-like. The normal high for this time of year would be around 82 to 85 degrees. Look at these daytime highs for tomorrow. Roanoke at 74, Smith Mountain Lake at 73, Rocky Mount 72, along with Salem, Delville just climbing up to about 70, while Buchanan, Buena Vista, and Lexington, all three stay most likely in the upper 60s for the daytime high tomorrow. Showers and thunderstorms for Central Virginia will continue. Not quite as many here as in Southwest Virginia. 75 for Lynchburg and Appomattox at 74, Brookneal at 72, Alta Vista 74, Moneta, Bedford about 72, and about 70 for Amherst for the daytime highs tomorrow. And again with the scattered showers and thunderstorms. Now we're seeing some pretty good thunderstorm activity off on 58 well to the west here. We're going to continue to see that potential tomorrow right along the North Carolina border. So South Boston, Danville could see some precipitation tomorrow that might favor a little on the heavier side, but for the most part it's going to be pretty widespread across the area. New River Valley, light rain, misty drizzle, a little bit of fog, some thunderstorm activity overnight tonight. Temperatures will be in the 70s for the daytime highs tomorrow. The Allegheny Islands also are going to be in the 70s for the daytime highs. Some areas may actually just struggle to get out of the 60s with 68 degrees for Lewisburg, Marlington, Hot Springs at 63, Snowshoe at 62, and Monterey at about 66 for the daytime high tomorrow. Extended forecast gets us through tomorrow, feeling very fall-like. The same on Tuesday at 73, showers and thunderstorms. A lesser chance of precipitation on Wednesday, but still in the 70s. 70s on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to climb up into the low 80s, but a continuation of the showers and thunderstorms. So these temperatures once again feeling very, very fall-like, and again they're about 10, 12 degrees below average for this time of year. Amanda?
All right, Tab, thanks. I know it's hard to believe that fall is just around the corner because we're in August. Back to school is right there, and then we've got Halloween.
It's kind of a pumpkin spice forecast.
Yeah, it is a pumpkin spice forecast. I like that. I like that, Tab. Thank you. All right, straight ahead, a homicide investigation is underway in Henrico, where a 22-year-old woman was found shot dead in a car this morning. We'll have more details and more from neighbors. And jury selection in the second federal trial against R&B singer and convicted sex offender R. Kelly is set to begin in Chicago tomorrow. We'll have more.
You're watching WFXR News first at 10.
Welcome back. A homicide investigation is underway in Henrico, where a 22-year-old woman was found shot dead in a car this morning. Reporter Sierra Krug has the story.
A quiet morning at Carlstone Court in Highland Springs. Resident Charles Guathme said it seemed like an ordinary Friday in the Henrico suburb until his phone rang.
My neighbor's husband called me from North Carolina.
The caller alerting him of the tragic death that happened right on his very street overnight around 1:45 a.m. A 22-year-old woman found shot in the passenger seat of a car right down the street, identified as Zakaria Zane Guy.
I didn't really believe it.
Guy was pronounced dead at the scene. Her death still leaves open a bunch of unanswered questions. Henrico police are investigating the crime as a murder.
This is very unusual.
8 News spoke with neighbors who live on the street. Some hadn't even heard of the deadly incident, saying they never heard gunfire or police sirens. Guathme moved into his home when the neighborhood was brand new. He says violent crimes like this are rare in the area.
Had anything like that in about 35 or 40 years.
Neighbors tell 8 News right now they just want answers about how something so devastating could happen so close to home.
I hope that kind of stuff is not coming, into our neighborhood.
A family of 4 from Brooklyn, New York were among 8 people wounded today when a suspected Palestinian gunman reportedly opened fire at a bus near Jerusalem's Old City. Fox News correspondent Kitty Logan reports.
5 U.S. nationals were among those wounded in a gun attack on a bus in Jerusalem. The attack happened in the early hours of Sunday morning. The shooter targeted a bus transporting Jewish worshippers from the Old City of Jerusalem. The vehicle was stationary at the time, parked near to Mount Zion, just outside the Old City walls. The suspect has been named as Amir Sadawi, a 26-year-old Palestinian from East Jerusalem, who authorities say was a lone attacker. Police also say this individual later turned himself in. The U.S. ambassador to Israel, Tom Nides, confirmed Americans were caught up in the shooting, tweeting that he was, quote, deeply saddened to confirm that Americans were injured in this attack. I've spoken with the families and will keep them in my prayers, continuing to monitor the situation. Now, 2 of those victims are said to be in a serious condition. One is a pregnant woman. This attack comes just a week after violence flared in Gaza after Israeli airstrikes targeted militants there. There is now a ceasefire in place, but tensions remain high. In London, Kitty Logan, Fox News.
Jury selection in the second federal trial against R&B singer and convicted sex offender R. Kelly is set to begin in Chicago tomorrow. Kelly is already serving a 30-year prison sentence for racketeering and sex trafficking. Fox News correspondent Christina Coleman reports.
Disgraced R&B star R. Kelly, who was a convicted sex offender, has long been trailed by accusations of using his fame to systematically sexually abuse young fans, including some children. Legal experts describe this new trial in Chicago as a sort of do-over trial of his 2008 state child pornography case in Chicago. In his 2008 trial, R. Kelly was accused of having sex on video with a girl no older than 14. She did not testify during that case, and R. Kelly was acquitted. The big difference in this new Chicago trial is that girl, who is now in her 30s, is expected to take the stand.
This trial is really about setting right something that had been wrong. It goes all the way back to 2008, and the story that this indictment tells is of an effort, an orchestrated effort by him and his co-defendants to lie and obstruct and secure an acquittal where there should have been a conviction way back in 2008.
Based on court documents, prosecutors will likely argue that R. Kelly rigged the 2008 case by threatening the young girl's family against testifying and paying them off not to do so. Prosecutors also say R. Kelly had sexual contact or sexual acts with the girl on the video and 4 others who ranged in age from 13 to 14 years old to 17 years old, and they're accusing him of conspiring, intimidating, or paying some of them and their families to falsify, destroy, or conceal materials that would prove him guilty. R. Kelly faces 2 conspiracy counts, including obstruction of justice. Meantime, R. Kelly has said that his accusers are lying and maintains that he has not broken any laws.
There's a lot of drama in that, and in this trial, we're going to see several witnesses who are going to tell what we all can expect will be some pretty troubling stories.
R. Kelly was already sentenced to 30 years after he was found guilty in New York on multiple counts related to sexual abuse, including racketeering and sex trafficking. Reporting in Los Angeles, Christina Coleman, Fox News.
Severe droughts in several parts of England are taking a toll on farming and livestock. The unusually high temperatures and lack of rainfall have left pastures bare, forcing farmers to use winter reserves to feed their livestock. Water reservoirs in many places are at levels too low to meet the demand for irrigation. Conservationists have warned that the only long-term solution to the drought across the country is to restore more wetland habits.
We have enough water in this country. It's normally in the west and in the winter, and we need investment in infrastructure to have it in the right place at the right time so there's enough water for people, food and the environment. This will not be the last drought. The government need to address this. They are the ones who have the overall control. The Environment Agency clearly have a major role to play, but government need to lead.
Last month was the driest July in England since 1935. And tonight's Positively Virginia, an event in Lynchburg helping kids to feel more confident going back to school. Local organizations joined together to offer free haircuts and braiding for students. This morning, Ted and Ted's Barbershop with 434 Saints football team put on a back-to-school bash. They say it's their first, but it won't be their last. WFXR's Anna McDougall was there today and has the story.
Co-founder of Ted and Ted's Barbershop, Ted Jennings, says the confidence from a fresh haircut can make a huge difference for kids.
Just a simple haircut and just send them to school and make sure they got the things that they need.
They partnered with 434 Saints football to give haircuts and styling for free as students prepare to go back to school. Jennings says their goal was to provide approximately 300 free haircuts in total, in addition to free hair braiding.
Me and the barbers, we all came together and put together an event for the kids back to school. Free haircuts and free braids and free face paint and bouncy houses and music, games, giveaways, all type of things for the kids.
And in addition to the free hairstyling services, the back-to-school bash gave away free backpacks and school supplies. Steven Spinner from 434 Saints says it not only makes a lasting impact, but allows kids a day of fun before all their hard work begins.
Yeah, we just out here for the community, trying to get back to school, you know, give out some free stuff, maybe win some stuff, and have some fun. That's what it's all about.
He hopes this will encourage students to get involved in programs like 434 Saints football, an activity that he says can teach valuable life lessons.
You know, help the kids stay out of trouble, you know, help them with their school.
They also provided some summer fun activities like a bouncy castle, face painting, snow cones, and a dance battle. An exciting end to the summer break and a refreshing start to the school year. Reporting in Lynchburg, Anna McDougall, WFXR News.
This was the first event co-hosted by the two organizations, and they say they're looking for more ways to support families in Lynchburg.
And we're looking at tomorrow being rather a wet day if you're getting back to school. Roanoke's back to school already. Bedford kicks off their school year tomorrow. Lynchburg, I believe, kicks off on Tuesday. In fact, Kara Thompson's going to actually be out there live on Tuesday. At least that's the plan to help get school started in Lynchburg. Let's take a look at Monday's school forecast. 7 o'clock in the morning, 66 with some precipitation. The same at 11, maybe a few rumbles of thunder. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll be in the 60s and still with a likelihood of rain. That's your Pinpoint weather forecast in just a brief moment. We'll have the full forecast in just a few moments.
Now, your most accurate Pinpoint weather forecast.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. As we had prognosticated, we have precipitation moving into the area. It's going to continue to do that during the overnight hours tonight and hang around during the day tomorrow as well. Some of the heavier precipitation has been skirting through southwest Virginia and heading into North Carolina, where we've had a couple of thunderstorms kicking up 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts here to the south of Galax in North Carolina. A line of thunderstorm activity moving out of Kentucky into southwest Virginia towards Tazewell. For the most part, though, most of us are just seeing maybe a little bit of light rain, some misty drizzle, some fog will be laying around as we make our way through the night and on into tomorrow morning. Our futurecast is picking up this precipitation this evening, scattered about as it's going to continue to do that during the course of the day tomorrow. By tomorrow afternoon, we should see some showers and maybe a couple of rumbles of thunder, some along 58 in the south side, heading from Danville back towards Galax. We'll see some shower and thunderstorm activity skirt the region on into Tuesday, but it's going to be widespread with not a lot going on Tuesday. Likelihood of precipitation tomorrow is at 70%. 70%, while Tuesdays is only around 40% across the region. Now, when it comes to excessive rainfall, we've got a very low flooding risk on Southside Virginia. Elsewhere, just very slight. Persistent showers into Tuesday. Some storms are possible in the mix, but again, not anticipating anything in the way of any flooding precipitation like we had last week and the week prior to that. So for tonight, for the Roanoke Valley, the big deal is we're going to find our temperatures heading down to about 60, 62 degrees tonight, and then climbing only to about 74 for the daytime high. Smith Mountain Lake at 73, Rocky Mount 72, in Buchanan and Buena Vista and Lexington 68. Showers and thunderstorms are likely off and on during the course of the day tomorrow. For Central Virginia, it's going to continue to be well below average for the daytime high. Normally, Lynchburg will be around 85. It's going to be 75 with Appomattox at 74, Brookneal 72, Alta Vista 74, and that again with some showers and thunderstorms dancing across the region tomorrow. Not so much in Central Virginia as, for example, along the south side. Danville could see some storm activity at 77 with Collinsville at 73 with some showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures will be in the 70s, some early morning fog for the New River Valley, and we'll see showers and thunderstorms continue during the course of the day tomorrow as well. Allegheny Highlands, showers, thunderstorms. We'll see some fog also. Temperatures in the upper 60s to the low 70s. The extended forecast comes out like this. Monday again, 74, showers and thunderstorms. On Tuesday, 73 degrees with a chance of precipitation to continue. Wednesday, a lesser chance, but still showers and thunderstorms, and 77. On Thursday and Friday, showers and thunderstorms, and the temperatures with showers and thunderstorms will get a little closer to normal by the time we get to next weekend. That's your Pinpoint weather. What's up in sports? David.
All right, Tad, thanks very much. We're going to keep the umbrella handy for sure. On the other side of the break, highlights and post-race reaction from this afternoon's Cup Series race at Richmond. Plus, we're going to show you some of the memorable scenes from Brent Pry's first fan day at Virginia Tech. It's all next in sports.
Now, WFXR Sports.
It is an annual summer tradition in Blacksburg, Virginia Tech's Fan Day at the Beamer Lawson Indoor Facility. Hokie Nation able to get up close and personal with the team, including new head coach Brent Pry, who had the longest line of anyone, signing autographs and taking photos alongside his wife and kids. The season, by the way, it starts soon, Friday, September 2nd at Old Dominion. Well, after Kevin Harvick broke a 2-year-long drought last weekend at Michigan, drivers from the Cup Series returning to the Commonwealth to take on the short track at Richmond Raceway. 3 races to go in the regular season and just 1 playoff spot still up for grabs. Kyle Larson had the pole this afternoon, and we pick it up on lap 240 with Larson in the lead, but the number 18, Kyle Busch, going sideways. Fresh off that win in Michigan, makes the pass on the outside, and to the front he goes. Harvick going on to take the checkered flag at Richmond Raceway. The 46-year-old's first win there since 2013. Sports director Jermaine Ferrell picks up our coverage.
What a difference a couple of weeks making for the driver of the number 4 car, Kevin Harvick. Before Michigan last week, he was on a 65-race losing streak. He got the W at Michigan, and he topped it all off by getting the win here at Richmond.
I've been telling everybody for the last month and a half that our cars are running good, and we've just had bad luck and things not go our way. So, I think, now things have gone our way. The cars are continuing to run good, and they made some great adjustments today, did a great job on pit road, and it's just the details of all the little things and, some speed in the car.
We were gradually, getting better and better every week and getting more in contention. And, we went from having a 12th place car to a 10th place car to an 8th place car to a 6th place car. And then, when you got top 5 cars, you can, make the right adjustments, do the right things during the race and have a shot. So that's really where we've been the last 2 weeks. I don't think anybody had the best car today. Everybody was really close, or there at least a few guys were really close, and we were able to just adjust on it and not have any mistakes.
2 in a row after a little bit of a drought, so it's nice that he is back in action and at the action track.
And for Kevin Harvick, this is his 4th win here at Richmond. He's firmly in the playoffs, and with 2 races to go in the regular season, things are looking good for the number 4 car. In Richmond at the Richmond Raceway, Jermaine Ferrell, WFXR Sports.
All right, still to come, we continue our Friday Night Blitz previews. We're heading down to Danville, where a new quarterback looks to keep up a tradition that's been going for nearly a decade.
Just show that everybody's here to compete and we're a winning organization. Just to show that just because we have new players and new team, new coaches, doesn't mean like we're a different team. I feel great. I mean, I think I was born for this, you know. Can't wait for my time to shine, and here it is.
Nehemiah Cabell, a sophomore but about to step into the starting quarterback position for GW Danville. The Eagles are the subject of our latest Friday Night Blitz previews. George Washington last season going 9-2, including a run to the Region 4D final. That's where they lost to Salem. Head coach Nick Anderson entering his 10th season at the helm, and he's hoping to make it 10 years in a row of making the playoffs.
And it's about, you know, keeping our program going in the right direction. You know, playoffs are something that, you know, you don't want to take for granted, but it's definitely a goal of ours every single year. And it's why we work extremely hard in the off seasons. And the last couple off seasons have been very challenging, and our guys have stuck with us through it all. And you know, the goal this year again is to make it to the playoffs. It's the next man up mentality. It's kind of how we've talked this off season. You know, we were very fortunate to have a lot of good football players last year, and 9 of them went on to go play college ball. So there's a lot of shoes to be filled, and the guys are excited about it. They know it's their turn. They've accepted that pressure and really worked hard so that we, you know, can pencil them in some of those positions until our season starts.
And a quick reminder that we're getting you ready for the upcoming high school football season. The Friday Night Blitz preview show airing this Friday at 5:30 on WFXR. That's it for sports. Amanda, back to you.
David, thank you. After the break, it's all colors, culture, and dancing. We're taking a look inside this weekend's Festival of India, downtown Roanoke's Elmwood Park. Downtown Roanoke was alive last night in Elmwood Park with upbeat music, Bollywood dancing, and savory food. The annual Festival of India returned for its 15th year. At the start of the festival, both the American flag and Indian flag were raised as both national anthems were sung. Sunny Shah, an organizer of the festival, says the crowd has increased and people look forward to coming out. The Night of International Fun was hosted by India Heritage Society.
Looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, that does actually look like a lot of fun. They have such like fun events downtown Elmwood. I hadn't really like gone down there because I haven't been in Roanoke for that long.
Right.
So, but Elmwood Park, I mean, it's gorgeous out there. Walking downtown, you can do so much.
And Indian food's amazing too, by the way.
Yes.
And the weather was perfect for it actually, and it's good it happened yesterday because the weather now for the next few days is going to be kind of nasty. Let's take a look at it real quick for you and show you what's going on in the weather where you live. In Roanoke, we're going to continue to see a chance of showers and thunderstorms. The same thing for Lynchburg and Danville. The daytime highs are going to be substantially below normal for this time of year. We're going to be in the 70s.
All right, Tab, thank you. And before we go, we do have some breaking news tonight out of Wytheville. Virginia State Police say they're investigating a fatal fire in the city of Norton. They say just before 3 this morning, the Norton Police Department responded to a house fire at the 500 block of Virginia Avenue North. They say the remains of a 13-year-old male were recovered from inside the residence. They also say a 43-year-old female and 22-year-old female were transported to the hospital for life-threatening injuries. We'll have more updates on this as the investigation continues, and we'll of course share more on that tomorrow in Good Day Virginia. All right, thank you for spending some of your time with us tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for Good Day Virginia starting at 5 a.m. Don't forget, we're always on WFXRTV.com. Good night.